Well, it goes further and he talks about the concept of the honeybee. He says the honeybee has a processional effect that it thinks it's doing, which is every day it's going out there to get honey. And it thinks that's its job, that's what it's doing. And so every day it's out there getting the honey. And what happens after some time, if it becomes conscious enough, is the honeybee looks around and it says, oh my gosh, what an amazing garden I'm in. Because in this beautiful garden, there are all these incredible flowers. And I didn't even notice all the flowers. But how grateful am I to be able to work every day to get the honey for the queen bee while I'm here in this beautiful garden with all these flowers, without ever realizing that all those flowers were the result of the honeybee. That while the processional effect was go get the honey, the precessional effect, the ripple effect, was that it was taking pollen from one flower to another flower, which then created all the flowers. See, you're creating a precessional effect in the world right now, just by having the processional effect. If your promise, which is the processional effect, if it's not strong enough, then you'll never create that ripple effect. Wealth isn't the procession effect. Wealth is a precession effect. I'm going to share with you something which was written well over 50 years ago, which was written by, it's the second book I'm going to recommend. You can download it for free. It's by Earl Nightingale, when he was still an insurance agent or insurance manager. And every single Friday, he would leave a little recording or he'd do a little talk to all of his insurance agents. But this one time, he left it as a recording because he was heading off that weekend, and he called it The Stranger's Secret. And in it, he defined, if you've seen the movie The Secret, that's the second part, which is the ripple effect. But The Secret actually conveniently left out the first part, which is what creates the ripple effect. You can't just like imagine your way to a new car, but what you can do is make a stand, which creates a ripple, which gets you the things that you want, but not because you want them, but because you're worthy of them. And so he actually talks about that he talks about the actual real true secret, right? The stranger's secret, because it's hidden in plain sight, is the definition of success. Where he says success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. It's your purpose. It's the fact that if you're not actually worthy, then there's no way for you to be able to lift up yourself to the point where you create that ripple effect. And it starts with self-worth. So if your self-worth isn't strong enough, or you're not actually having a reference of the worth of others by doing more worthy things, then you miss that altogether. So this here is basically a link to show that as you start looking up worth as your procession effect, I'm going to lift my worth to a high level by making high level promises, that wealth becomes a precession effect, that this is the lighthouse. You are the lighthouse. Once we realize when we're actually looking for the lighthouse, we can't find it, we realize that it's because we're just not turned on yet. And the moment that we actually make the promises we make, we switch it on and we emit. Now, when you emit, then you actually then slow time down. This here is the basis of what a promise is. A promise comes from the Latin promittere. Promittere means to send forth, to emit. And so once you send forth, then you actually are then having sent forth the promise. Apostelos is what it is in Greek. Apostelos is where we get apostle, which is the one chosen to send forth. So the chosen ones. So today the entrepreneurs are the chosen ones. The French word for that is entreprendre, which I mentioned the other day. Entreprendre means, again, to send forth, to go on a journey of promise, and that's where we get the word entrepreneur. So all of this directly links in to you making a promise, making a stand, and knowing that with that you shine a light on others. And if you decide not to make that stand, then you fall into the shadows. So this is not just a nice to have, this is a must have in where you go, and this is where we actually get the whole imagery of the lighthouse. This comes from the lighthouse